It's happening. The most dangerous volcano in North America just erupted, and it shot ash a mile into the sky. Tyler Journal reports on Zero Hedge. This is authored by Michael Schneider via the End of the American Dream blog. A lot of us have been watching Mount Popocatépetl for a very long time. Well, it's been erupting since basically, 2016, recently, and it could be possible that we are now on the verge of the most destructive volcanic eruption in the modern history of North America. Is that so? On Monday night at precisely 9:35 p.m., a massive explosion at Mount Popocatépetl in Mexico sent a column of volcanic ash nearly a mile into the sky. A yellow alert warning has been issued by the authorities, and they're ordering everyone to stay at least 12 kilometers away from the crater. They are stressing that the threat is not past, and as you'll see, the evacuation plan is in place in case an even larger eruption follows. And if a much larger eruption does follow, the devastation could be off the charts. Mexico is a city only 43 miles away from this volcano, the Popo volcano, and approximately 25 million people live within a 60-mile radius of the crater. So where would all these people go to? The explosion on Monday night was definitely a wake-up call, and according to media reports, it was loud enough to shake doors and windows of houses in the city of Puebla. Mexico's Popocatépetl volcano erupted late on Monday, hurling incandescent rocks about 1.5 miles down its slopes and sending ash into the night sky near the nation's capital. The explosion, one of the volcano's largest eruptions in years, was heard from nearby communities and was loud enough to shake doors and windows of houses in the city of Puebla, according to local media. Mount Popocatépetl has been increasingly active in recent months. Authorities are concerned that all of this activity could be leading to something really big. In fact, it's being reported that they are currently preparing for the worst-case scenarios. Local authorities are currently preparing for the worst-case scenarios and have not ruled out more eruptions in the near future. In preparation, they've drafted a special operational plan allowing for quick evacuation of locals in case of any future emergencies. Popocatépetl exploded earlier this week but had remained calm over the past several days as it only emitted water vapor, gas, and a small amount of ash. So what would a worst-case scenario for Mount Popocatépetl look like? Well, scientists tell us that the volcano is capable of producing a catastrophic plinian eruption. Popocatépetl is considered the most threatening volcano in North America in terms of explosive activity and population threat. Its current low or moderate scale eruptive behavior can swing relatively quickly to a large catastrophic plinian eruption, the largest and most violent of all the types of volcanic eruptions, according to the volcanologist at the National History Museum. If you have ever heard of a plinian eruption before, this is what Wikipedia definition of it is. Plinian eruptions, or Vesuvian eruptions, are volcanic eruptions marked by their similarity to the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD, which destroyed the ancient Roman cities of Herculaneum and Pompeii. The eruption was described in a letter written by Pliny the Younger after the death of his uncle Pliny the Elder. Plinian or Vesuvian eruptions are marked by columns of volcanic debris and hot gases ejected high into the stratosphere, the second layer of Earth's atmosphere. The key characteristics are ejection of large amounts of pumice and very powerful continuous gas-driven eruptions. According to the Volcanic Explosivity Index, plinian eruptions have a VEI of 4, 5, or 6. Subplinian are 3 or 4, and ultraplinian are 6, 7, or even 8. Short eruptions can end in less than a day, but longer events can take several days or even months. The longer eruptions begin with production of clouds of volcanic ash, sometimes with pyroclastic surges. The amount of magma erupted can be so large that it depletes the magma chamber below it, causing the top of the volcano to collapse, resulting in a caldera. So we're talking about a disaster that could potentially kill millions. In the Aztec language, Popocatépetl literally means smoking mountain, but to most of the locals, the volcano is simply known as Don Goyo. In ancient times, it produced giant tsunamis of superheated mud that completely buried entire Aztec cities. The following is an excerpt from one of my previous articles. Historians tell us that Popocatépetl had a dramatic impact on the ancient Aztecs. Giant mud flows produced by massive eruptions covered entire Aztec cities, and in fact some of these mud flows were so large that they buried entire pyramids in superheated mud. But we have not witnessed anything like that in any of our lifetimes, so it's hard to even imagine devastation of that magnitude. In addition to Mexico City's mammoth population, there are millions of others that live in the surrounding region. Overall, there are about 25 million people that live in the immediate vicinity of Popocatépetl. Thankfully, we have not seen a major eruption of the volcano in modern times, but at some point that will change. Considering what the volcano is capable of doing, I simply don't understand why there was so little coverage of this massive explosion on Monday by the mainstream media in the United States. I guess it didn't have any room after allocating front page space to the Powerball jackpot and ongoing drama surrounding Wendy Williams. We live at the time when our planet is becoming increasingly unstable, and many believe the shaking is only going to get worse. Mount Popocatépetl had been dormant for a very long time before it started becoming active again in the 1990s. Now it has apparently entered an extremely active phase, and we know that it is capable of producing a catastrophic plinian eruption. So let's keep a very close eye on Mount Popocatépetl, or Mount Popo as many call it, because a plinian eruption so close to Mexico City would be a disaster far worse than anything that any of us have ever seen. And if you notice that the previous videos that I uploaded today having to do with the solar cycles and increase in earthquake and volcanic activity, that has been reported and articles written on it, research done by the USGS and SOHO and NASA. And after, of course, viewing solar cycles, studying solar cycles, they've come to the conclusion that when we have solar minimums, as we have now, in other words, we don't have starbursts, we don't have solar flares, that's when we have more severe cold weather, as we're seeing now, and an uptick in earthquake activity and volcanic eruptions. And this is having to do with the Earth's electromagnetic frequencies, and all this has interactions with the weather and the geology of the Earth. Not only that, but also human health. So if you want to go and see those, you'd like to, I'm sure if you're interested in that, is there a connection between Earth's human residence and human behavior? Sun and Earth interconnection effects on human health and boomerang of divine law. Also, quake, slow motion, tremors at Mount St. Helens, where we saw that as well. Human residence and increased Earth energies. So you'll see that if you'd like to see that. Solar cycles, volcanic activity, quakes, and weather connection. Solar minimums equal quakes and volcanic eruptions and severe storms. So this is on Zero Hedge. I'll leave a link below for you for this. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.